Okay, so in this video, I'll be showing you how to use your TI-83 or 84 calculator to do a scatter plot, and then we'll also, on top of the scatter plot, graph our sine or cosine function and see if it matches our scatter plot. Okay, so let's start by pressing the Stat button on the calculator here. So I press Stat, and what I'm going to do is edit my list. So I'm going to press 1. Okay. Now, what you can see is in L1, I've entered all the months of the year, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way to 12. And I'll just show you that. See, I've entered all these in. I've also entered in values for the temperatures for each month of the year in L2. Okay, so these two lists are full of the values I want. So now if I want to graph this in what's called a scatter plot, so it just has a bunch of dots on there, before I actually graph it, I want to make sure I have the appropriate window. So I'm going to press the window button. Okay. Now my X values, that was my first list. They went from 1 all the way to 12. So let's make my X minimum 0. And my X maximum, let's make it 15. Okay. We really only need to go to 12, but we don't want our 12th right on the edge of the screen. And then the Y values, that's going to be my temperatures. My lowest temperature is minus 18.4. So let's go from, let's say, minus 20. And my maximum, my maximum is 14, but let's go to positive 20 just to kind of even it out. Okay. So now I'm going to go and do my statistics plot or my scatter plot. To do this, I press second and this Y equals button. So that'll be my stat plot. And notice I have all my statistics plots off right now. I'm going to turn stat plot on, number 1, by hitting enter. And I'm going to turn this on. And you see under type, I have, right now it's highlighted here with all these dots. So that's what I want. That's a scatter plot. It's just going to plot a bunch of dots. My X list is coming from L1. So that's what I want. And my Y list is coming from L2. That's also what I want. Okay, because I had list 1 and list 2 is where I entered my numbers. So now I'm just going to press graph, and you'll see this graph. Okay, so that's my scatter plot. That's what it looks like. It's obviously a sine or a cosine curve. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is, we did this example. If you watch the pencast on this, you'll see we came up with an equation, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm also going to put that equation in. And so I'm going to press Y equals. It's actually possible to plot this equation right over top of it. So my equation that I came up with was negative 16.2, and it was cosine, and it was 1/6 or pi over 6. So I'll just go pi over 6 here, because I can put pi in. And then we have x minus 1. Finish my bracket. And then subtract 2.1. Okay, so I should check my mode though, because when we did the question, we decided we were going to use radians. The mode is in radians, so I'm going to press graph. I'm going to see what it does. So there's my cosine curve, and look, it matches the scatter plot basically exactly. So I do have a very good equation that I figured out that models or tries to match my data. Okay, it's a way that you can check the function that you've come up with for your data. All right. So I hope that helped you understand how to do a scatter plot and how to check the scatter plot with a sine or cosine function that you've come up with.